Since the late 1990s, Indonesia's rainforests have been ransacked by illegal logging. In one of the biggest environmental crimes the world has ever seen, timber has been looted across the country and smuggled overseas. It has cost the government and people of Indonesia an estimated $20 billion and has resulted in a number of environmental catastrophes. So who is responsible for this crime? The answer? Powerful international timber barons, backed by their protectors in the police and military and international wood smuggling syndicates. The evidence is clear to see, yet they are still at large, due primarily to the failure of Indonesia's notoriously corrupt judicial system. Such failures undermine recent efforts to tackle illegal logging.
Kami baru saja menerima gambar dari Lembaga Investigasi Lingkungan yang berbasis di London, EIA, dan Telapak di Indonesia. Dari laporan mereka, tergambar jelas bagaimana penjarahan kayu itu berlangsung tanpa tedeng aling-aling.
Setiap bulannya 300.000 meter kubik kayu merbau asal Papua diselundupkan ke Cina. Praktek pencurian yang melibatkan pihak militer dan sindikat penyeludup kayu internasional ini seolah tak mampu kita cegah.
Menanggapi kenyataan ini, Presiden Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono telah memerintahkan Kapolri Jenderal Polisi Dai Bahtiar untuk menginvestigasi kasus penjarahan hutan ini.
Ada unsur TNI-nya akan ditindak, ada unsur AL-nya ditindak, ada unsur polisnya ditindak, ada unsur Devhut-nya ditindak, ada unsur Pemda-nya juga akan ditindak. Jadi ini secara internal pemerintahan juga akan ada satu shock terapi, dan di sisi lain para Cukong yang selama ini menganggap diri mereka tak tersentuh, sekali ini akan diadakan operasi yang targetnya juga adalah para Cukong-Cukong ini.
This unprecedented response saw 1,500 enforcement officers dispatched to Papua. The flow of timber was staunched and over 180 suspects identified. The impact of the operation was quickly felt in overseas markets used to receiving cheap timber stolen from Indonesia.
不知道，现在那个价钱，印尼那边的也贵，这里也贵，就是这样的。这比去年都涨了2000块，差不多2000多块。
涨1倍
啊！涨1倍不止。这前早一段时间，已经几个月没有那个菠萝果了。这段时间回的比较多。
为什么比较没有？
这嘛，早一段时间那个就是印尼那边啊，马来西亚那边。 那个国家现在比较严了，不准放出来了。
Yet, 2 years on, none of the major criminals behind the pillage of Papua have been convicted. Most of those arrested have been freed by the courts. One of those arrested was an influential police officer called Martin Renner. He was caught red-handed with over $100,000 in his bank account from companies involved in illegal logging. Incredibly, the court let him walk free. With the big players still at liberty, mobile theft from Papua is rising again. EIA and Telepac investigators recently uncovered a smuggling ring in the port of Surabaya, shipping illegal timber concealed in containers to China. Smugglers use contacts in the customs department to avoid detection.
But usually, where do you export to? This side. Kirimnya biasanya kemana?
Changjiagang, Guangzhou, Shantou, Shanghai,
Xiamen.
sedikit Xiamen.
One month, how much container you ship China? 50.
1 week, 12 or 14 container. 1 week.
1 week. 20 foot?
Yes.
Okay.
I have to buy.
In China?
In Hong Kong.
Oh, in Hong Kong?
Yes.
What's the name? It's like very.
One buyer. This one. March 7, April 7, May 24, June 24, July 20. One buyer. Two buyer. Agus hold.
Why?
Hold. Yes. Karena sistem pemerintahan.
Oh,
Seperti aku ngomong tidak bisa continue begitu.
last time because the government asked to the custom asked to hold first for 2 weeks. Custom.
Hold. Yeah. September start again.
In Singapore, the investigators also came across another timber trader called Prince, dealing in barge loads of mobile logs smuggled into Malaysia.
So still people bring in, now I'm taking the main supplier, he will bring in from Indonesia because he got a good connection.
Good connection in Indonesia.
Yeah, good connection in Indonesia. They will bring in, still bring in. This Murabba is not Malaysian Murabba. Malaysian Murabba, the color, we can't come into Indonesia. Indonesia color is very good. This Murabba is from Indonesia, but he's saying the local origin in Malaysia because illegal logs. They will bring in because, Sarawak to Indonesia, just 50 kilometers. Every half an hour, one boat will come down. Just pay to the customs and they bring over.
It becomes Malaysian.
Because it's Malaysia. The origin is Malaysia. Origin is not Indonesia. Origin is Malaysia.
People tell us that it's Indonesian.
But origin is Indonesia. But we're giving the certificate origin to you is Malaysia.
The government in Indonesia claims to be pursuing the timber barons behind this trade, but they are simply too powerful and well connected. This man, Abdul Rashid, was first named as a suspect in 2000, linked to illegal logging in Tanjung Puting National Park. EIA and Telepac had traced huge quantities of stolen ramen wood to one of his factories. Despite overwhelming evidence, Rashid was never arrested and went on to become a Member of Parliament. In 2001, 3 cargo vessels loaded with illegal logs were seized by the Navy. Documents linked the timber to Rashid's family business. Again, he easily evaded arrest after a corrupt police officer closed the case. His name remains on the list of 50 most wanted timber barons. In 2003, EIA and Telepac investigators uncovered a massive ramen smuggling operation in Malaysia's Riau province.
All this ramen, right?
Okay.
These stockpiles of illegal timber belonged to another notorious timber baron.
From everywhere? Yeah. In fact, he's the king of ramen.
King of ramen.
King of ramen. Yeah.
Ali Jambi is well known in the port.
So far, it's only one person that monopolizing the market to supply the ramen into Malaysia.
Right.
Yeah. So the guy has about 60 fleets of a wooden boat.
Right.
Yeah. So he's controlling the market. Yeah. Most, at least about 99.99% of the ramen came from the one source there.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
That's the Malaysian ramen. It's all controlled by...
Indonesian ramen.
Indonesian ramen is all controlled by one...
Indonesian guy.
An Indonesian guy controls it all.
3 years later, EIA and Telepac investigators located Ali's mill in Riau. They were told he is now living in Singapore. Since 2005, Indonesia's field enforcement against illegal logging has reduced the flow of timber, but the failure to tackle the top of the syndicate means that the problem remains. In Riau province in 2006, EIA and Telepac investigators found smuggling to be rife, especially in the Cukong river area. Whilst there, they were shown an unusual smuggling technique.
Baru. Ini kemana ya? Bahan. Oh, bantu. Ini udah kebun sekarang. Lagi plantation. Coconut plantation. Why do they have so much coconut? Why do they have so much coconut? Kenapa harus ada ini? Harus ada kelapa? Perbundingan ya. Tanah supaya ditutup lah. Oh, supaya ketutup.
Illegal logging in Cukong also involves a corrupt police officer called Asma.
Saya juga petugas ya. Saya petugas, saya kapolsek di sana. Amankan kapolsek. Sekarang saya sudah di Polda. Polis. Ini selain daripada polisi saya juga orang bisnis. Selain daripada polisi saya juga orang bisnis gitu ya. Jadi nanti kalau memang dia mau seperti tadi saya oke lah, saya ngambil seperti kayu merah ya, peranti merah gitu ya. Jadi saya ngambil peranti merah aja, terusnya khusus tempat gitu. Nah boleh, bisa gitu.
Most of the timber, stolen from Riau, makes the short journey across the Malacca Straits to Malaysia. Malaysia's timber industry has profited greatly from cheap, illegal Indonesian timber. One of the main landing points in Malaysia is Kuala Lumpur, where the company, Lee Beng Co, is one of the main dealers in stolen wood.
印尼来是非法的，不？印尼偷来是非法的，我人是偷偷改买的，不？啊，印尼政府袂使出口这个物件的，敢若偷印尼政府的。这个不是丢了咯？怎么落这个？
嘟掉了呀？
冲动啊？
嘟啊？
啊，无靠头去偷的，直接 BM 出去了。
今日早起啊？
啊，今日丢了落吗？
安怎咧？
算冲动咯？
安怎这个有？
伊有可能过大期。冲光了啊，佮袂倒好路。
是你看呢？哦，你来标是吧？
啊，佮标倒咯。
佮标倒等。
OK， 这阵伊公办了啊，比如讲啊，这个厂公办都5000块，如果佮袂好都5000块，来回1000块，所以这个厂是了累的，我都出去买那边。哦。啊，帮咱是掉了。
这茶是
就是阿珍的咯。
阿珍的。啊。
清晰我真系有4个嘅。
阿珍是公司是叫什么啊？
李宾哥
李宾哥啊，
李宾哥，对个车业我对自己张翻啦，找我的。
All the traders in Lingy use the same freight company owned by a local MP.
而家大港人捉緊㗎啦，可能準我都報過你哋，都行出去嚟。船票嗰陣我人出去咧，你免帶啲船票嚟，啲船票你係寄嚟我人啊。 呢邊唔免開啊！啊呢邊去演講嗰邊可能知啊，可能講嗰邊講嘢咗嗰邊，你可能知啊，當貨邊類啊，買咗車類嚟，冇可能係佢啊。有呢邊做啥？邊河船都嚟啊！呢是講政府應何啲啊？一個沙政府應何啲啊？呢個完蛋咯！
所以你介意政？
This MP was recently caught trying to intervene to stop customs seizing illegal Indonesian timber. He was unrepentant when asked to explain his reasons. This is a clear indication of the powerful connections enjoyed by the local timber traders. Another neighbouring country profiting from forest crimes in Indonesia is Singapore. Its secretive banks are used by those trading in illegal Indonesian timber. Timber baron Abdul Rashid often received payment for illegal logs through his account in Singapore. But it is Indonesia where the crime of illegal logging is committed, and it is this country's corrupt justice system that stands idly by as major timber barons devastate the country's precious resources. If the Indonesian judiciary is not reformed urgently, illegal logging will continue to wreak havoc with dire consequences.